Again,
We did
we did it. Funny story, guys, because
it.
nothing is perfect here on the online space, nor do I ever expect perfection to come from anything that I am putting out. But Tayshawn and I were just starting the show and we weren't even live. So that happened. So here we are for real now. It says we're live. I looked. We're good. Hello. I hope everyone is having a fabulous Wednesday. I have my beautiful friend here, Tayshawn, and I'm so excited for her to share all of her good things because I just have witnessed her step into this power that she has, and it's just been so beautiful and so inspiring. So, my beautiful friend, take it away again.
Yay! Again. Again.
Again.
Oh, hello guys. My name is Tisha Krupp. I am a spiritual coach, self-love and relationship coach, kind of all in one, but I shift over to mostly the spiritual side, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Also, thank you, Justine, for having me on. I missed your face.
I miss your face.
It's been so long.
No.
So the first run, we were talking about the mastermind. So we were kind of in a mastermind together, Amanda's mastermind. And I was doing mostly of like the self-love and the relationship stuff. And I loved it. Like literally, like, like your passion, right? Like something you really love. I got out of a narcissistic abuse marriage. It was a really rough divorce. And I was like, you know what? If I can help one person through this, like this is what I want to do. So I was like all for full force, right? I was like, I want to do this love thing, like self-love, like teach people this stuff. But it seemed like no matter like what I did, it just didn't work out. Like I wasn't getting clients, like, and I was like, come on, guys, like I got some good content. Like this is going
Yeah.
to help you. Like, come on. But what it was that was a part of my life that, like, yes, like I learned through, but it was only a part of my life. You get what I mean? Like, and
Mhm.
I felt like I was stuck in that cycle of like going over that abuse over and over and over again, and I've healed from that. I've healed and I like, ascended, and spirituality was my thing. And it's always kind of been my thing. It's kind of like always followed me around. And so I was like, I don't know. I think it was like December, right? Because it was right before Christmas. And I'm like, F it. Like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to come out of the broom closet. Like, that's what they say, come out of the broom closet, right? And I'm like, I'm just going to offer like these like 3 card like readings for like 10. I actually think it was like a full reading for like $10. Oh my God. Remember? Boom, like alignment.
You could not even keep up. Like,
No.
I remember you being like, I wanted things, but holy shit. Like, so that was so cool.
Yeah, like it was so, and I remember that because I was so exhausted. Because I thought maybe like 1 or 2 people would be like, yeah. And like these weren't 3 card readings. I thought they were like full spectrum readings that I now charge anywhere from like $60 to $100. And I got like 20 of them. And I was like, oh God. But it was so awesome. And it felt good to just finally like step out into that, you know what I mean? And finally to just really embrace that. And ever since then, like, whole year, like things have just shift so much. And I had a lot of, my following still kind of follow me. And then I had a couple other people that were like, I'm sorry, like this just isn't me. But I totally understand that. I was really freaked out by it at first. Like, okay, so like this stuff has always followed me around. Like, and it actually runs in my family. Like my mom was pagan and when she was like, yeah, like she's practiced. My grandma was, I remember her giving me like these tarot cards when I was like 10 or 12. And
Like,
like I read online. Yeah, like seriously, like here you go, T, like in this magical like purple bag. And I remember like sleeping with them under my pillow because I guess at that time, like that's what you were supposed to do to like connect to the cards or whatever. And a bunch of like bad shit happened. So I was like, no, I'm good.
like
Yeah,
what?
like
Like what? Do you mind
I don't
sharing?
probably
Like,
like stupid kid stuff, like me getting in trouble or bad, like it didn't have nothing to do with the cards, but me thinking that, you know
right,
what I mean?
right. Like, yeah, like you brought the bad vibes in.
Yeah, because it's scary. It is scary when you don't realize it or like you don't understand what people are afraid of what they don't understand. I know I was.
Mhm.
and it's just like my mother-in-law was here earlier and like I did a ritual. I was cooking. What was I cooking? I was cooking soup. I was cooking soup on the stove yesterday, and I decided to make a pot and put some moon water in there and some cinnamon. Cinnamon's good for abundance. I put some cinnamon sticks. I cut up some oranges. Plus, it makes your house smell amazing, right? And literally, like, I just set some intention, like, like some safety and some abundance, and like it was boiling. Well, I had the residue, and my mother-in-law came in today, and she's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "My witchcraft." And like she's like, well, people in the Bible believe, that's people worshiping the devil and blah blah blah. And I was like, but did you also know this? And she's like, I ain't judging. But yeah, like people, like I understand because I was raised, I wouldn't say I was raised, but I found myself along the Christian path a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I loved it. And I felt very, and I still feel very connected with God. The thing with witchcraft or like spirituality is it's not just to one religion. It's not to like Wiccan or pagan or like, it's not about religion at all. You can be Christian and there's Christian witches. I'm kind of like everything witch. I adapt everything. It's so funny because people come to our house. I have the pagan wheel on the wall, and then next to it, I have a cross, and then we have Jesus, and they're like, "What?" Got the Christmas tree, got the Yule tree. We're
Yeah.
doing it all.
Yeah. And I think
Hmm.
like, why is it one way or the other? I guess would you mind kind of touching on what that barrier is for people? Like how dare you have a cross and believe in witchcraft at the same time?
Well, it's really like with the Christianity. Obviously, the belief is there's only one God, and that's it. And then, of course, a lot in the Bible like states about like witchcraft and stuff. And you really have to like do your research on it. Like I have, I mean, and anyone can have their own beliefs. Like I am so open to like anyone. They
Yeah.
don't have to believe what I have to believe or like what I say, but like doing the research on it. Because I would freak out. Like I remember like asking like God, like am I doing the wrong thing? Like, am I gonna go to hell? Like literally, like I'd freak out about it. But it's just that like in the Christianity, it's the one God, and if you believe in any other gods and goddesses, which by the way, if you're into spirituality, you don't. Again, it's not about religion. You don't have to worship gods or goddesses. That's the pagans or the Wiccans. Like you can just spirituality is really about just finding your inner self and your inner truth and like you said like that power and releasing that and like growing and healing. I believe whether like no matter what religion that you believe in, you're here to grow, as a person, a human experience. Because I mean, think about it, like no matter what religion it is, you pass, your soul goes up to the heaven or it goes out into the universe or whatever, but we're here to grow. But a
Mhm.
lot of people get offended by it because one of the number one things is because of the one God. I am the only God. There is no gods above me. That kind of stuff. And then there's stigmas, right? There's stigmas around it, like it's evil, and you're worshiping the devil, and same thing with the Christianity and blah blah blah, about the devil, and that it's not. Or you're getting your power from demons and blah blah blah. I do say if you are going to practice witchcraft that you have to be safe, right? You have to be safe with anything. But that's with anything, you
Mhm.
know? You
Yeah.
can't just it's like a how do I explain this? When you open your door, like your physical door to your home, you don't just leave it open for any stranger to walk in, right?
Right.
So same thing with spirituality. If you're gonna open that door, even with meditation, like
Yeah.
praying to guides or angels or like anything, you have to be like specific and you have to, protect yourself. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of stigmas around that.
Yeah. And there's a really great comment here, and I wish I knew who it was from, so I might look as you are wish you would show me. But um what does being a witch mean to you?
To me, it means really just stepping into your power, stepping into your authentic self, um, you know, honing your gifts, Also, I feel like as a witch, you're a healer too, right? Like, and there's so much like different kind of witches, right?
Yeah.
There's like the kitchen witch, and then there's the like the green witch. Sarah, was it Sarah Howard? I seen she stepped into being a green witch. Isn't that so cool?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And it's my friend Angel. Um, yeah, it's so true. Like, it's scary to people because we grow up believing or seeing like Hocus Pocus, and we grew up seeing the Wizard of Oz, and all of these different things. And I don't know. It's just you know,
It's the Hollywood, and I remember because I had the same questions, and I'm drawn to this, right? Like I'm so drawn to this, and I was so torn between my beliefs, right? It's like limiting beliefs about anything. Like we talk about limiting beliefs about money, about self-love, about how we've grown up, not just with our parents and how we were raised, but also with society and Hollywood, right? Like we see people messing with the Ouija boards, or we see people like doing tarot readings, and all of a sudden like these demons come and attack and like kill their families. Like that's in Hollywood. So then we're like, yeah, no, we're good on that.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I love your TikToks too, because I think they're so good. They just fascinate me. They're like just so mystical. But you give a lot of like tapping into psychic abilities. You have pretty powerful psychic abilities as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I always knew, I used to joke around all the time and be like, I'm psychic, I'm psychic. Like I would, because I would just know, and like my family and friends knew. And they used to say, because I was Native American, they're just like, you're Native American, you're connected to that, kind of. But it really has nothing to do with being Native American. I'm an empath. All empaths have psychic abilities. And especially yeah.
What's an empath? Just for those who,
An empath is somebody that feels on a deeper level. They can feel other people's emotions. These are the kind of people that, you're talking to somebody, you can feel their energy, you can feel what maybe they're sad or they're mad or they're hurt, and you're trying to fix them. Empaths also like to try to fix people, and that's a bad no-no. Like we draw in these people because we're healers, right? So we have this light, we have this ability, we are given the gift to feel on a different level, complete empathy. But sometimes a lot of people can think it's a curse because you feel so much. And that's when you have to, initiate your boundaries, and you have to initiate your self-love, and you have to realize, you come first instead of giving and giving and giving.
right? Yeah.
Mm.
So then most empaths are psychic. So then like when did you have that like oh shit moment? Like, oh, this is like real. Did you have one of those moments, or is it just always been like in your awareness and
I,
knowing?
I always kind of knew. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I just didn't consciously do it until about a couple years ago. Like, I mean, I'd randomly like know things. Or like, I just like, yeah, I would be like, oh, I'm psychic, just kidding around. And then I remember like trying to practice for the first time. And I remember being in the shower and I'm like, all right, so it's kind of like this like state, I guess, that I get in. And I'm like shower thinking is like the best, right? You get the best shit in the shower. Like, woo-hoo. So I was in the shower and I'm like, I'm gonna think about Matthew, nothing else. So I kind of like dazed off, almost like in a meditative state, and I was thinking about Matthew. And like it was like images that would come up. And it was like cat, and it was a baseball field, because everyone's different. Some people like there's clairvoyance, there's clear essence, that kind of stuff. So for me, it comes up as like images, and sometimes like through thoughts, right? So I seen like this cat and then the name Tigger. So I got out of the shower and I'm like, Matt, so have you ever had a cat? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm psychic. He's like, half the world has a cat, dude. Like, come on. And I was like, but was her name Tigger? And what's up with the baseball field? And he's like, yes, did have a cat. This is the only cat I ever liked because he don't like cats. He's like, her name was Tigger, and something about playing in a baseball field or whatever. So he's like, oh, snap. So I was like, I could really hone into this. Like, I can do this, you know?
Yeah.
And that was about 2.5 years ago. I guess I started really like doing it on purpose. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, it's so fascinating to me. And before I really, I mean, I've gained a lot of friends in the spiritual realm. And I was probably, like a year and a half ago, I would not have considered myself a spiritual person. Like not
Mhm.
even in someone who goes to church or practices faith. Like I was just so sick of like how is everything happening around me, and I was in the victim state. That's where I was. I was in the victim state. Whatever. But the people that allowing myself to explore and be curious with spirituality, the people that it's brought into my life have like changed my world in the best way. And it's never felt scary to me. And so I
Good.
really like when people are watching this, if you have that curiosity, tapping in and kind of like learning about it, it doesn't make you a bad person, because it's not like, there's good magic and there's bad magic. You
Yep.
have to have good intentions, and I have never encountered anyone who does the bad stuff. Well, I guess I don't know, but I mean, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
No, but like I think it's really scary for people to maybe even acknowledge if they've experienced something personally, like to own that. So what was it like when you came online and were like, this is who I am. This is me.
Oh, so scary. Like it was so scary because I was like, do people work like even like once in a while, like I'll still have that like hard time because I'm like, people will like there's a lot of judgmental people out there. You know what I mean? And I was kind of worried about like Matt's family a little bit. And like I know his friends like poke and make fun at him all the time, but it's just all, fun play. But it was scary. It was scary to come on. And for the longest time, I would not say I was a witch. For the longest time. Like I was just like, nope, I'm not saying it. Like that's crossing the I'm spiritual. I'm just really spiritual. I'm a psychic. I'm a medium. I'm, I'm an empath. But for the longest time, I wouldn't say witch because I was so scared that stigma, right? Like witch, oh, evil, devil, you're devil. I've had people message me, and I remember this woman messaged me and she said, I have a message from God from you. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, you need to stop what you're doing or you're gonna go to hell and this and like, so I mean I've had some backlash for sure. But I mean, that's who I am. It's who I am. I can't hide that. I would feel so trapped. And the thing is, the way I look at it is if you don't like it or you don't believe in that, that's totally fine. Like totally fine. I understand. And you can just be on your way. You don't have to look, you can delete me, don't have to talk to me. But for the people, like my clients and for like the people that just like, come and follow me, it's an amazing experience, right? And that's if I'm, being honest, I'm gonna attract the honest people. You get what I mean?
Yeah. And you just have this like class about like how you show up in your group and online and in your content. You just have this
Mhm.
really beautiful, like it's almost like, owning yourself as a woman and who you are, and standing in that confidence is just very powerful. So I hope you know that.
Well,
That's
thank you.
I see it. I see you.
I see you. I see you. Thank you. Yeah, it was it was very nerve-wracking, but
Was his
I mean,
is his family still kind of like about it?
you know, a little bit, but they're more understanding. Like the more you talk to people and like they don't have to like understand it, but it was the same way with me, right? So I was like, all right, like I was in a crossroads because it's almost like my soul was like pulling me towards this, but my beliefs and my, you know what I mean, like my thoughts were like, and what I've grown up to believe was pulling me. I was such an, I remember just praying and praying, and I'm like, like God, like, can you like show, like, is this bad? Like, I don't want to upset you. But this was all just limiting beliefs or stigmas, that I've went through, and sign after sign after sign just came in, and like my intuition just told me like this is for you. Like looking back, like this has followed you your whole life, like everything you've went through. And I mean his family sometimes like, his dad is like super, super Christian based. But I mean, we've had talks, right? Where he's called me and he's like, doing them crystals are evil, Tijuan. And I'm like, okay, but there's crystals in the Bible, right? And he's like, no, there's not. And I'm like, come on, let's look this up together. And he does, and he's like, oh shit. So, yeah, I was like, he's like, oh, well, I didn't know all that. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not bashing your faith. I kind of believe in your faith too. Like I said, I'm a little bit of everything, but there's just a lot of things that, like, people don't know, but people are scared of what they don't understand
Right.
or don't even know, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them, you
No.
know?
And it's also like I kind of feel like you know, embracing the dark, finding the good in the dark can be very, very hard for people. And at
Mhm.
least that's where my spiritual journey has, like, I felt most supported, is like really embracing my shadow and the flaws that I've labeled myself with for whatever, or the mistakes I've made, or whatever it may be. I feel like spirituality has helped me in a way, that way, more than any therapist. And I'm not making any claims here, but this is my
Yeah.
personal experience. But it's, you have to know the dark in order to see the good, to see the light. And I just think, that's why I was so pumped when you're like, yeah, witchcraft and spirituality, because we need to bring light to the topic. We need to talk about it. We need to have these conversations because it can change someone's life, you know?
So good. And like you said, like your spirituality, like spirituality and witchcraft don't have to go hand in hand. Like you can be spiritual as fuck and not do like little spells or whatever like I do. That's just the path I've chosen. But I started off just as spiritual, and you could just stay there. Spirituality has helped so many people. Like I've heard the same statement with, the therapist not disclaiming anything. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I still see a therapist for some stuff that has happened a while ago. But I know that spirituality has helped with your self-love, with your compassion, with, like you said, like your faith, with really understanding and not being in that victim mode. I totally completely understand it, because that has helped me and it's helped so many other people. Like I remember talking about like shadow work to one of my clients, baby witch boot camp clients, and we're talking and we're talking, and she's like, literally, you have helped me more than my therapist has. My therapist was just like, yeah, you're just codependent, get over it, kind of.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
like I'm not discrediting anything or saying like don't ever go to a therapist. Like I said, I personally see a psychologist.
Yeah.
So, if you need it, for sure. But if you're, like you said, if you're looking to get into spirituality, don't feel like you have to, dive deep in, witchcraft, or like you have to do something or like be a part of a religion. It's
Right.
literally just, it's your own path. And that's why I love so much about spirituality. It's your own everyone's spirituality is different, right?
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I love pulling oracle cards. I bought myself a tarot deck, but I have yet to use it.
Love tarot.
I have yet to use it because I have some belief like I have to know all the things before I can do it. And that's just not true. I just need to do it. I should have been charging it over the full moon, but it's right here on my desk. But yeah, there's just, so if someone's like, okay, where do you even start? Where do you, like, when someone new comes into your space, into your energy, where do you tend to, like, to get them started on their journey? Is there like, or is it different for everyone?
I guess I was gonna say, I guess it'd be different for everyone, because I've had people that have been like, they've asked me so many different questions, like, where do I start in reading cards, or where do I start with meditation, or where do I start with strengthening my intuition? So I guess you would have to really, figure out, like, what are you being pulled to? Are you being pulled to learning and knowing more about your gifts, or if you have gifts? And if you have gifts, like your intuition knows. If you're questioning about gifts and you're like, I'm thinking about this spirituality stuff, then yeah, there's the reason why you're thinking about it and wanting to know about it. It's because you do,
Right.
it just, the universe works that way, right?
It does.
So I guess it would just have to depend on where you're looking to go and like what is catching your attention at the time, and then, going from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And for anyone watching this, I want you to drop your links to when we're done. But, if you're looking for a safe space to go, I 1000% feel confident saying go to Tayshawn, because I've even like, I feel like you just take baby steps with people, and you just love people where they're at. And there's no like, sometimes we can get, I get the vibe of steering, you know what I mean? And I just don't get that from you.
Like steering as in like trying to make somebody else like how you are.
Right.
Kind
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think people get sick in my trainings when I say this because they're like, what? But like I have like the membership and this stuff, and almost every training I do, I'm like, okay, but make it what you want though, or like you do you. And that's like that, don't ever feel like you have to do something a certain way. So like you were talking about your tarot cards, right? And you feel like you need to like know everything. And tarot cards can be overwhelming, right?
A lot.
But it's basically however you feel, right? And basically like using your intuition with it. And because I remember I was the same way. And I was like, I can't read for other people. I can barely read for myself. If I don't know I'm gonna tell you what, I don't think there's still a couple cards in my tarot deck that I don't even know, right? And I've been reading for a long time. I
Yeah.
went to readers and they had to whip out the book. So, you know, you just feel like sometimes I know like people feel like that, or they feel like they need to like know everything or have everything and not just like make it their own. And think spirituality is your own, right? So people like will message me too, and they're like, I seen you post this thing about like a full moon ritual and about like taking a bath, but I can't take baths, so I'm gonna ruin this whole ritual. And I'm like, girl, just take a shower then. Like, like I don't have this green candle. I said, go buy a birthday candle at the dollar store. Like, it's okay. Like, most of the stuff is about your intentions anyway. Like you said, as long as you have good intentions, it doesn't really matter. There's good people and there's bad people in all spectrums of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and there's people out there that probably and do abuse magic,
Yeah.
but if you're not hanging out with those people, and as long as you got your high energy going, you're fine.
Right.
You're
And always trust your gut. Like your gut never steers you wrong, and
fine.
in your intuition. But I I just love what you do, and it's so beautiful to watch. I just love you. So where can people find you, my beautiful friend? Where can
They can find me on Facebook. So the Psychic Sass Facebook group, I'll drop my links below. And then I'm also on TikTok. I'm like so sporadic on TikTok. Like sometimes I'll post like 5 videos, and then sometimes I'll go like weeks without posting. But there's a lot of information on there too, as well. And I'm actually doing the 12 days of universal laws. It's free in my group. Yep. Mhm. That starts December 8th. So we've heard of the law of attraction, right? Like obviously we've all heard of the law of attraction, like manifesting. We love that shit. But there's 11 other different laws. So imagine knowing all of them and living this bomb.com life.
Yes. Oh, do you have a landing page for that where people can sign up, or is it's in your group?
It's just in my group. I
Okay.
have a little, yeah.
That's how
So
I roll too. Like I was looking at my website today, and I'm like, you can definitely tell I don't have a professional web designer.
yeah, I mean,
Who needs it? Who needs it? You know?
yeah. I I tried the landing pages, and it's just like I tried like with MailChimp, and I don't
Yeah.
know, I was on Kajabi for a while, and then I moved to Padia, or was that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Padia.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Audio.
honestly, is that what you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it so much better. I mean, Kajabi's cool, whatever works for you, but I honestly just like a website so I don't have to individually like send links to people. That's honestly all. And then like, like writing, like when someone messages me and like I have to write over and over and over, like explaining like what this is or what I do. It's so much easier just be like, here's my website. Like, if you want a reading, if you want to join the membership, if you want to do that, read it. You want to buy it, click, and then I'll contact you. So much easier.
Will you touch real quick on the membership? What do you do in your membership?
So the Fiery Empath membership I opened last year, and there is like it's kind of like an encyclopedia for anyone who's really like wanting to get into spirituality or they're like any like path they're on, whatever. Spirituality, like witchcraft, and there's like tons of already like pre-recorded videos. So I go in about once a month, sometimes even twice, and I'll do about a 60-minute like training on things. I also have like guided meditations in there. We have bi-weekly card pulls, usually if I don't forget. Love you guys. Love you guys. You're probably some of you are watching this like, bitch, you haven't done a card pull here in like 3 weeks. But you lying. For real. But I try, guys, at least bi-weekly card pulls. And yeah, so it's cool. It's like in sections, right? So say like, I don't know, you're like, I want to do a meditation. So you go to meditations, bunch of guided meditations. We got like full moon, new moon, spirit. You want to meet your spirit guide. I just posted a past life regression. That was pretty cool.
Ooh.
All that kind of, yeah, like that. I like that. And then I have like one section on rituals. So say you want to do a new moon ritual and you're like, oh, let me go find that training. Or like, there's so much stuff like empath stuff. There's stuff on like how to read cards, like tarot cards, oracle cards. There's stuff on like using tools. So like, like all the tools behind me, like I teach you. It's just kind of like I said, like an encyclopedia. Instead of like, I opened it because I got sick of like, if I wanted to know something, I had to go through like 20 different groups and 5 different people. And like, you can't believe everything on Google. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, not saying my word is like all, I always say in the membership, like, do like whatever. If this is not your cup of tea, but you feel like this is good, do that instead. But that's why I opened it. People want to go somewhere and they don't want to look like 20 years for it and then kind of like question it. And like you can also like comment in there and be like, hey Tisha, like I'm doing this, I need help. I'm like, all right, girl, I got you.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
all that's on your website that you'll drop?
Yeah. So I'll drop my link to my website and then for my group too.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time to first struggle with me, then to cleanse our aura, and then
Oh yeah,
have this beautiful talk.
we did it.
We did it. We did it. I appreciate you so, so much. And if anyone, oh, you'll love this woman just like I do. So drop your links. I'm going to put them in the YouTube show notes. And yeah, I know this is going to help so many people and I'm excited.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. I hope somebody watches this and they're just like, you know what? It's not that scary after all. Let me try it.
Just it's okay to feel like, and that's another thing with all of these. Like when I asked for taboo, it's like I want all of it. Like I'm not putting any judgment on what someone is passionate about or what goes with my beliefs, and I think we need more of that in the world. Like
We do.
come
Oh,
together and do the dang thing together. And so I appreciate you being so open and honest and answering my like what questions, like fascination.
anytime, girlfriend.
All right. Well, I will talk with you soon.
Alrighty.
All right. And thank you everyone who is on. I will see you guys tomorrow.